How's everybody doing today? This is your boy Rich, and I'm back with a special guest. It's David Moadel. How you doing today, David?
Rich, it's glad to be with you again. It's been way too long, and there's been too much going on in the markets today. We can't ignore it any longer. We got to tackle this stuff. We're talking about cryptos. We're talking about marijuana stocks. It's just going haywire, and people are seeking answers. Rich, I think you got some answers, or at least some perspective on this. Can you help us?
Yeah, it's crazy, Dave. Where do you want to start? Because there's so much stuff. We haven't talked in months. So many things have happened over the last few months. So we could start either with crypto. We can start with the stock market. Where would you like to start?
Well, crypto is a great place to start because both of our audiences, both of our YouTube audiences are fascinated with cryptocurrencies and with Bitcoin, which is the mothership, as you've coined the phrase, no pun intended. And because Rich has always said Bitcoin is the mothership. Wherever Bitcoin goes, other cryptocurrencies tend to follow. And Bitcoin, I'm telling you, 6 months ago, or at the beginning of 2018, it was hard for people to imagine that Bitcoin would reach $6,000 per Bitcoin. And here we are. What's going on? Is it just going to keep plummeting? People want to know. What do you think?
That's a very good question. My opinion is that there was a new ETF that was being introduced by the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. When they delayed the approval of the new Bitcoin ETF, what it did is it tanked all the altcoins. So specifically, everyone's been selling off their altcoins, and Bitcoin has not really fallen as hard as the altcoins have. So in my opinion, what has happened is everybody's pulled out of the altcoins. They're buying Bitcoin, buying the mothership to protect themselves against the altcoins, which are crashing like 70, 80, 90% this year alone. Terrible. So most people are just selling their altcoins, investing in Bitcoin, and I believe they're hodling, waiting for another explosion, waiting for another reason to get excited again. But I believe there will be exciting news soon because, in my opinion, I believe the ETF will be approved in September. And if it does get approved in September, then we will see an explosion in crypto again. I might be wrong. They might delay it again, which would cause another massive crash, which would be terrible because I don't know if we can handle any more of this beatdown, which essentially has been a beatdown all year in the entire crypto space. In fact, I cannot find one cryptocurrency that's up this year.
Yeah, I can't either. So, I recently had a video on my channel looking at the markets. I had a video in which I talked about a gentleman his name is Tone Vase, and he made a very specific prediction about Bitcoin. He said that in October and November, he expects or thinks Bitcoin could go down below 5,000 and maybe as low as $1,300 per Bitcoin. That's in October and November. He was very specific. Yeah. And then he said $5,000 as a floor is optimistic, and $1,300 as a floor is the pessimistic part of the range. Wow. Then he said it's going to bottom out, and then by late 2019 or early 2020, Bitcoin's going to reach another all-time high with $20,000 per Bitcoin again. Is this what do you think of that type of prediction, or any type of numerical prediction for Bitcoin?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I'm at the point now with cryptos where I just don't know. I don't know what is going to be the catalyst. These companies have no assets to back them. They have no revenue to speak of. I said this since day one. Remember when we talked to Charlie Lee last year? And I said, Charlie, how can you justify these market caps when you don't got any equity to back them? These assets are not backed by gold. They're not backed with cash. They're not backed by cannabis. So they're backed by technology, which may or may not be utilized moving forward. So How do we really determine the real value of these companies? And the answer is nobody knows. So one thing I've learned about crypto is that I don't know nothing about crypto. And when it comes to finding a floor, nobody knows what the floor is. I've seen so many so-called experts. You know, they came up last year and they got a YouTube channel. They get a few thousand subscribers. They call themselves an expert. Saying, oh, we found the floor, we found the floor. And I've literally gone live saying we have not found the floor. I've done this multiple times this year, getting angry because what they're doing is they're getting people to buy these cryptos and then they go even lower.
Right.
So you're not going to see me predicting any floors. I don't know what the floor is. I'm just, as an investor, as a person that's a cryptocurrency enthusiast, I just hope that the industry turns around. Overall, since I've been in the cryptos, Bitcoin is still up about 100%. When I got into cryptos, Bitcoin was about 2,000. Not even. I think it was like 1,600. So it's still up dramatically since I started.
Yeah.
But the altcoins are pretty close to where they were when I started a year ago. They're getting very close to being, dangerously close to being where they were when I started an entire year ago. So it's gone all the way up and it's come all the way back down. So at some point it will hit a bottom and it'll start to climb again. I don't know when, but I will be watching very carefully. And when I do find the bottom, I promise you guys, I will let you guys know. But at this point, I don't know what the bottom is, Dave. I just don't know. I'm hoping it's this ETF as a catalyst, but you just don't know until it happens, unfortunately.
Right. You know, I think you have this philosophy. I once spoke with Ronnie Moas, another cryptocurrency expert, and I asked him, what's your strategy with this? And he recommended, which is what you do, which is take a position in your favorite cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, and if it goes down, buy a little more and just hold on to it. So you buy some. If it goes down, you don't panic sell. Buy some more. Every time it goes down substantially, buy a little more. You have your limit. You don't want to over leverage. And then at some point, you just stop and just hold on to it and just ride it back up. Is that a reasonable strategy at this time?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think the market is very volatile right now, and I'm personally completely out. I do have some cryptos I'm holding, but some were falling so fast I had to sell in order to protect my equity, and I'm happy that I did because since I sold, it's gone lower. At some point, when you see something is going down so bad, you have to try to protect your equity because we've got an industry that is so volatile that assets are going down 80%, 90%. If you have big money in these cryptos and you got like 100 grand in, do you want to lose $80,000? Do you want to lose $90,000? Do you want to lose, if you have $1 million, do you want to lose $800,000? And I have friends I know that have lost literally hundreds of thousands of dollars because they're hodling. Right. And I think at this point it's suicidal to keep hodling. That's my opinion. I think when something is going down like this and you do not know what the catalyst is going to be, it might be better to take your money and stay in a cash position, wait for it to bottom out, maybe then position yourself for the next run. But if you're just losing money every day and it's going down 10% a day, at some point you have to pull out your money. You have to protect your equity.
Right. Understood. Yeah, the bleeding has to stop somewhere. You can't just lose it all and say, oh, I'm hodling. Right. That's no excuse for ruining your financial dreams and your financial future. I totally agree with that. So what does a bottom look like? See, that's what we're all looking for. As soon as we think, oh, this must be the bottom, it just drops another 5, 10, 20%. So what are the signs of a bottom? Do we need it to go sideways for a month straight? What does it look like?
You know what? I don't know. Right now, I'm really concerned about the way crypto is going. I've been feeling really bad about it for a few months now. And I've been watching everything just tumble down and down and down to originally where they started a year ago. I think when it gets close to that point, where everything is back to where it was a year ago, that's where I feel like we will find a bottom.
Okay.
So, for example, like Ripple. I started watching Ripple last year when it was at 10 cents. It's at 25 right now.
Right.
If it goes back to 10 cents, that's when I think, yeah, I'd like to buy, 10 grand worth. And then maybe wait till it runs back to $1 and then you make 10 times your money. That might be a way to make your money back if you've lost. So this is all speculation right now because, like I said, I don't know what the catalyst is going to be. And if the ETF does not get approved in September, this is going to go down violently. Violently, which is scary to even think about. Now, if it does get approved, I think that could be a catalyst that could see it drive north, which I hope for the industry is the case. But as an investor that is watching the market, I'm very concerned because I just don't see, especially for the altcoins, an end in sight. That is concerning to me. Yeah.
Understood. So it sounds to me like you may have a few small positions in some coins, but you're out of it. And that there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to hold cash. So, man, do you think it's reasonable to believe that, let's say Bitcoin, because that is a mothership, do you expect another all-time high? I know we're not looking at specific time frames here, but for people who just want to hodl anyway, is another 20,000 mark in the cards for Bitcoin at some point? What do you think?
I used to say yes. I don't know anymore because as soon as the Bitcoin ETF started, you could see the manipulation started. It initially went up, it's come down since, and it's stayed down. Now, if they implement this new ETF, there's going to be more manipulation, there's going to be more market makers, there's going to be more short sellers. I don't know, Dave. I think over time, yes. I think it's inevitable. It's an asset, it's an industry that will only grow over time. I just don't know what the timeline is anymore. Bitcoin and all the altcoins were on a trajectory. They were climbing. And all of 2018, it's been going down. It's been declining. I thought many times that we were going to have a catalyst. We just haven't had it. And I'm at the point now where I decided, I'm going to pull my money out. I've got a few coins that I'm going to hold because they're just so badly beaten that selling them made no sense. Right. But my Bitcoin, my Ethereum, my Ripple that I had, which was quite substantial, I've sold because I was watching it go down every day and I just got sick of it. So I had to take a loss, which I don't like to do. But I felt like it was the only thing to do in order to protect my asset, in order to protect somewhat my asset, because I lost so much in the last few months and I just got tired of losing. So do I like trading like that? No. But like I said, I just don't see a catalyst. And I'd rather protect my equity at this point as opposed to just watching it dwindle away to nothing.
Sure. You're protecting yourself. You're protecting your financial future. There's nothing wrong with that. Anybody who's watching this who might be thinking about unsubscribing because, somebody on YouTube took a loss. Well, it happens. Okay. It's called being human. And anybody who says they don't take losses, you know what, run away from that person because they're lying or whatever it is. Okay. So, finally, want to talk about, it doesn't have to be Bitcoin. If somebody is going to start looking at coins now, maybe somebody's watching this, they're looking at coins for the first time. It's exciting. It's a dangerous game. Be careful. Are there any coins that you're looking at that are especially exciting right now?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of exciting coins. That's the weird part about this all. Is I've done about 120 reviews, and I've got a lot of companies that are approaching me every day, really good companies with some very good projects. And I like them. I like these projects, but it's hard to speak on them when everything's going down. It really is. I really like Trade.io, the TIO token. They just launched their own exchange. I think it has huge upside. I've done a lot of videos on them, but like everything else, their coin has been crushed. I really like the MOAC coin, mother of all coins, MOAC. Another company that I've done a few videos on. I think it has huge potential, but like everybody else, it's been beaten down. It really, I like ITC, Internet of Things, IOTA, ITC, IOTA, ITC chain. These are all coins that I like. I've owned at some point. I've made money on. But like anything else, they've been beaten down. So I like a lot of coins, Dave. And you see me do videos consistently about different coins, educating the public on the technology, not so much on the price and buying the asset, but more on the technology. I still believe in the technology. I still think there's some great technology that is developing every day and will continue to. I think there's a lot of coins that are getting into crypto influencing, which I really like. As an influencer, just like you, I think there's a future in that. So I really believe in the future of cryptocurrency. I just don't know what the floor is. And as an investor, I have sold at much higher prices, and I've been selling along the way. I had some Ripple that I had been accumulating in anticipation of an explosion. But since I've been watching it go down, I decided to pull it out, stay in a cash position. And then if it gets to a bottom, if I see Ripple go back to those 10-cent ranges, then I'm going to be going in deep. I'm going to buy a lot of it. I'm going to hodl and wait for a dead cat bounce, wait for an explosion. And hopefully, over time, we see it go back up to $1. And then I can make 10 times my money. Then I won't mind losing 30, 40, 50% if I make 10 times my money. That's the way my brain thinks. But what I'm not going to do is lose 70, 80, 90% of my money and be in a situation where I'm playing with, peanuts. It just doesn't make sense as a trader. Now, I want to get into the cannabis because we've had some questions in the group chat about the cannabis. So similar to the crypto, the cannabis has been on an epic decline all year, with the exception of a few stocks. So what has happened is, in anticipation of recreational cannabis being legalized in Canada, which has already been approved, voted on, and it is happening. It's called Bill C-45. It's been approved. It's happening October 17th, 2018. Recreational cannabis will be legalized in Canada. Big news. What has happened is a lot of the stocks have been going up based on hype. They have not been going up based on revenue. They've been going up based on hype. Now, because of that, they all exploded near the end of 2017 and into the beginning of 2018, just for like the first couple weeks of January. Since then, you could literally pull up a chart and see they've all come down. Like literally all of them, with the exception of a few. One of the ones that has gone up is CVSI. Now, I want to talk about CVSI. I don't know if you've been watching it. It's totally insane. It is up. It's at $5.59 today. It's up another 15% today. It was up 15% yesterday. And it is up over 3,500% this year since the beginning of November of last year. It's up, I believe, 3,500%. So that is an example of a company that is doing the right things. Now, what is it that they are doing that the others are not? And what they're doing is very similar to Canopy growth, but Canopy's already exploded, whereas CVSI is just exploded all the way up from under $1 to now they're trading at $5.58. Now, the biggest difference between CVSI and all the other stocks that have been struggling is that they're generating revenue. A lot of other companies are raising money. They're diluting their stock to raise money. They're doing all kinds of joint ventures, which is great, but they're not actually generating revenue. They're not doing any sales. CVSI is actually doing sales. They're reporting quarter after quarter growth as far as revenue. I believe last quarter was $12 million in revenue, which is pretty substantial for a cannabis stock that is a relatively new company. I believe that is the direction that the cannabis stocks are going to move in. They're going to trade more on revenue, less on hype. So what you're seeing now, which was anticipated, which I predicted, is I said they were going to go and trade up and down all year, more down than up. I said in the summer, specifically in August, they were going to go down because everybody was going to go on vacation. All the big market makers, investors, short traders, and institutional investors are gone on vacation with their friends and family because we only got a couple weeks left in summer. And usually this is what happens, with the exception of a couple sneak attacks. CVSI.
Right.
There's always a couple sneak attacks every summer. When nobody's looking and everybody's on the beach, there's always one or two picks that just explode without any real understanding of why. CVSI is kind of that stock right now. They're 100% buy and bar chart, top 1% signal strength, and they just keep going up every day.
Wow.
They've announced that they're going onto the NASDAQ, which everybody knows is a short-driven marketplace. So if they go onto the NASDAQ, my opinion is this. They are going to make a run up because people buy on rumors, sell on news. They're going to make a run up to the NASDAQ, and once they get onto the NASDAQ, they will be shorted with impunity. That is my opinion. You can look at Chronos Group, similar to what happened with CVSI. They made a run up to the NASDAQ. When they got onto the NASDAQ, they ran all the way to $12, and now they're at $5.
Interesting.
Now, why are they at $5? Because the NASDAQ is a short-driven marketplace, and the shorters will take your stock up, they'll manipulate your stock up, and once they see it's at an all-time high, which CVSI is at an all-time high, which is very scary. Once it gets to an all-time high, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to short the shit out of it all the way down from it's now at 552. It's been going down because it went all the way up. They're going to short it all the way down from 552, maybe down to, back down to $3.
Yeah.
That's what they do. That's how they make their money. They want meat on the bone. If I'm a short trader, I'm looking for stocks at a 52-week high. I'm looking for stocks that are up 3,500% on the year. Yeah. And CVSI, I mean, that's a lot of meat on that bone. So can CVSI justify a $5 share price? I don't know. I think that these stocks are still trading higher than their earnings. And a lot of them are trading 40 times their earnings. And you're going to see them come back down eventually to about 6 to 10 times earnings.
Right.
Which is where they should be trading.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll find some examples of companies like Netflix and other companies that are trading higher than that. There are some examples like that. But for the most part, most companies will be trading around 6 to 10 times multiples, sometimes 20. But a lot of these cannabis stocks are trading 40 times their earnings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. Normalization is inevitable. Warren Buffett once said that in the long term, the stock market is a weighing machine. In the short term, it's a voting machine. In the long term, it's a weighing machine, meaning that normalization will occur and stock prices will, at some point, reflect the actual value of the company itself. If CVSI is actually making money, if they have positive revenue flow, then perhaps they deserve to be doing better than most of the industry. On the other hand, should they be trading at these multiples? Can that be sustained on the NASDAQ when it gets there? I happen to agree with Rich that it's a prime target for shorting, so look out. Yes. Don't be a victim of hype. Don't say, man, it's on the NASDAQ. Well, you know what? Now we're in the rumor phase, but buy the rumor, sell the news. Once it actually goes on the NASDAQ, that's not the time to buy. Correct. The time to buy is before the rumor even starts, preferably, or in the beginning stages.
Well, this one's crazy because, if you look at CVSI's chart, you will see they were trading at $3 last week.
Unbelievable.
They were at $3.40 August 7th, a week ago today. They were at $3.40. It's at $5.50 as we speak. So. This is not something you want to jump on right now because it's more likely it's going to go down than it's going to go up at this point. Shorting does exist, and you can short anything on a senior exchange over $3.
Yeah.
This is at $5. I mean, if I'm a short trader, I'm just salivating, just licking my chops, looking at my boss saying, do I short it now? Do I short it now? How about now? How about now? You know, like literally with my finger on the trigger.
Right. The stock market is a king maker and it's a king breaker.
Yes.
It'll break it just as fast. And actually stocks tend to, you know what they say, stairs up, elevator down. Stocks will go down faster than they go up. We don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but you don't want to get in at the top. That much I know for sure. Want to talk about the rest of the marijuana index, so to speak, the rest of the marijuana industry. Now, yes, we do have October 17th, full legalization of cannabis for, I believe it's over 21 years of age. And
19, over 19.
19. You guys are so progressive. I'm in the United States.
If you can smoke weed, you can drink. If you drink, you can smoke weed. 19.
Oh, so if you're 19 or over, you'll be able to smoke the weed or vape it or ingest it.
It's going to go based on your driver's license. As long as you've got a driver's license and you're over the age of 19, I believe. Okay. I believe it might be different in some provinces. I think Montreal might actually be 18, but I think it's 19 in most provinces. But I think Montreal might actually be 18 because it's 18 there, I believe, to drink.
Just real interesting. Just really quick, because I'm in the United States, I just want to get a better cultural feel for the Canadian zeitgeist, the spirit of the age there, which is very different. I mean, are we going to see people walking down the street smoking right in front of the popo, in front of the police? I mean, is that what this is going to look like?
It happens now. It happens now. I mean, here in Vancouver, I mean, it's pretty much we have a 420 event, which you can see my videos. I got them all over. And I do a lot of these events, and I find it quite entertaining. The police are literally standing there, smoking with the people in some cases. I don't necessarily want to say that. I don't know if they're smoking with the people, but they are in amongst the people. And I remember I was sitting there right beside one security guard. It was a lady. She was watching me film. I was right on stage. I was right by the stage. I'm filming. And this one security guard, she kept looking at me. She kept looking at me. She kept looking at me. And I'm like, why is she looking at me? Is she going to try to arrest me or is she going to tell me to move? Like, I was confused, right? So guess what she does? She pulls out her camera. She starts filming too. I mean, everybody wants to be a part of this. I mean, it's... The police don't care. They know this is going to be legal. We're like 63 days away now, Dave. So, like, we're 63 days away from history in Canada, and a lot of these police officers, when they go home, they smoke a joint. So they might not do it at work. They might not do it in front of the public, but a lot of them are smoking weed just like everybody else. That's why this is being legalized, because doctors are doing it, dentists are doing it, lawyers are doing it. Everybody's doing it, Dave. So why not just make it legal? It's all happening illegally anyways. Let's just make it legal. So I believe that this will be a very good thing for the Canadian economy as far as the Canadian government. It will generate a lot of revenue for the Canadian government. Now, I believe there will be a run-up on these stocks. The hype will just get exciting. People will get excited about this. So the thing I like about CVSI is that it's setting a precedent for all the other stocks, because CVSI wasn't a great stock in the past. They don't have the best history. They do have somewhat of a checkered past. So it's proving that regardless of your past, if you do the right things and you generate revenue, your stock can explode. And for some of the other stocks that we have invested in that I am holding, I will not sell at a loss. I am going to be waiting long-term if I have to, hopefully short-term this fall, but long-term if I have to for a lot of my positions, because I believe long-term that these companies will generate revenue. They will be revenue generating. They will start showing strong quarterly financials because they're going to have to. And they're going to start to realize that just their hype is not enough. And just having money in the bank is not enough. And just giving out stock to debt instruments is not enough. You're going to actually have to sell cannabis. You're actually going to have to sell CBDs. And unless you're actually showing revenue and you're showing top line revenue and it's comparable to CV Sciences, Cannabis Growth, Aurora Cannabis, some of the bigger companies that are showing revenue, you're going to struggle. It's as simple as that. And if you invested in companies that are showing no revenue, you need to really look at those positions and kind of consider yourself kind of stuck. And if you see it goes up and you're in the green, even if it's a little bit, get out of those positions and then position yourself in companies like CVSI, like Cannabis Growth, like Aurora Cannabis, like CanTrust that are actually making money. You want to be buying stocks that are making money. I think the days are gone of buying these penny stocks that have hype for me. I'm not interested in those ones anymore. I'm now positioning myself in the companies that are generating revenue.
Gotcha.
That's
so we're looking at fundamentals first. That's something I tell a lot of people. Fundamentals first. Check the company. Are they consistently profitable? Are they making money? We're getting back to basics. Yes, there was a time when hype was enough to elevate the price of a stock, of a marijuana stock. Yes. Now you need a lot more than that if you're going to thrive and survive even in this cutthroat market. So as far as, people are always looking to – I look to Rich as a mentor of mine in the marijuana space, in the cryptocurrency space. A lot of people also – by the way, people should check out richtvlive.com. That's richtvlive.com. I'm going to put that link in the description below this video. All kinds of resources on there, as well as the WhatsApp group for Rich TV Live. Get on there. Do it. And you also have a Facebook group, which is growing quite rapidly. So just to wrap it up on the cannabis industry – are there any under the radar picks? I know you put out so many videos. People need to subscribe to Rich TV's YouTube channel if you haven't done that already. Are there any under the radar marijuana stock picks that you've got your eye on right now that maybe people should know about and they don't know about?
Yes, lots.
Lots. Okay.
We are becoming very quickly one of the leading cannabis channels. We have a daily show every day at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and we are literally identifying cannabis stocks every single day. One that has come out that has done very well and has kind of retracted, but I think long-term is going to be a monster, will be a cash cow, is the Green Organic Dutchman. TGOD, TGODF in America. I love this company. Aurora Cannabis owns 17.5% of the Green Organic Dutchman, and I love Aurora Cannabis. Aurora Cannabis generated $28 million in the quarter with their acquisitions of MedRelief and CanaMed and all of their business combined. So I really love those two companies, and I think at these prices, they are a steal, and I think that they are going to explode further. If you want to look for a cheaper one that's doing business in Canada, the United States, and internationally, I did a video yesterday, Golden Leaf Holdings. Yeah. Big news yesterday. They did an acquisition of a company called Tahoe Hydropothecary Corp. out of Nevada and California. A $52 million acquisition. The deal was a little bit of cash, about 11 million Canadian cash, 41 million in stock. I think that this is the type of acquisition that can take Golden Leaf Holdings over the top, because that's a real business that's generating real revenue that they acquired with a little bit of cash and a lot of stock, and it's going to be, and that company is going to own 25% of Golden Leaf Holdings, and that's going to put a huge influx of real revenue on the balance sheet. So I really like that move, and those are the moves that I'm watching. Companies that are acquiring real businesses that are revenue generating, that are going to start showing on their next quarter. So if you start showing these revenues and your revenues jump 100%, 200%, 500%, 1,000%, these are the types of deals that you're going to see jump. And Golden Leaf Holdings is only at 17 cents, Dave. 17 cents. And they just did a $52 million acquisition. Those two numbers don't add up to me. So those are the types of opportunities that I'm personally looking for. A stock that's at 17 cents, which on NASDAQ.com, by the way, analysts are estimating it's going to 50 cents. So it's at 17 cents. NASDAQ.com is estimating it's going to 50 cents. And yesterday they put out some news that they just acquired a private company for $52 million. I mean, all the right stars are aligning there. Those are the types of deals that I'm looking to find. Not a company that's been getting pounded down, struggling, no money in the bank, no acquisitions to speak of, no revenue being generated. Those are the ones that I'm kind of staying away from right now. And I'm looking more for the revenue generating businesses that I see upside. I can see upside. I can see blue sky. If I see that potential, those are the ones I'm looking for. Those are the ones that I'm tracking. Those are the ones that I'm going to be looking to buy near the end of 2018 and in 2019. In 2018, the mistake I made personally was I started to buy all the cheap ones. I started to buy all the smaller ones, thinking that they would go up 10x, and it just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
It just hasn't happened. The only one I've seen is CVSI, and the only other one is Ianthus. INUTF is the symbol there in America, IAN in Canada, Ianthus. Ianthus has done extremely well this year, and CVSI has done very well this year. Even Cannabis Growth has done well this year. But with the exception of a couple, just a handful, the industry as a whole has shrunken. Because I believe it's becoming more based on real revenue, which I think is a good thing, so that long term, we're going to be able to make better decisions as investors on which companies we should be investing in based on real fundamentals, as opposed to like 2017 was like the hype train for both crypto and cannabis stocks. Now 2018 for both cannabis stocks and cryptos, it's kind of come back down. And to be honest with you, as an investor, it's been nothing short of a nightmare. It has been, because pretty much everything has gone down. Cannabis stocks as a whole have gone down. Cryptocurrencies as a whole have come down. Now, one man's nightmare is another person's dream. So, because they are so beaten down, you have to think at some point they're going to hit a 52-week low, which a lot of them are at. And now is the time to position yourself. But if you're going to position yourself in companies that are doing real acquisitions with real businesses that are going to be generating revenue. Not companies that are building facilities that aren't going to be generating revenue for a couple of years. Those companies will not go up. They might go up temporarily and then come down very quickly. So you have to be ready to get out of those positions. But if you're looking to get into something long term, invest in something with real revenue.
Yeah, that's the key. When a company has no debt or very little debt, when they have real revenues that are coming in, like not projected revenues down the line, real revenues right now, that is key. That is essential. That's what Rich is looking at. Man, we've gotten some real insights here. Rich, did I miss anything? Is there anything else you wanted to tell the people?
The only thing I can tell the people is I know it's been a tough year, 2018. I've been through this before, many, many tough years in investing. What this does is it's allowing everyone to learn how to be bottom hunters. And as investors, we're really learning how to hunt bottoms. And if you get good at making money in the bear market, which right now for cannabis stocks and cryptocurrencies is the bear market, then imagine how good of an investor you will become, of a trader you will become in a bull market. It'll be too easy. If you can survive in this economy, you will thrive in a bull market. Now, the markets as a whole in 2018 have been nothing short of miraculous. When you look at my picks, my big board plays, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Home Depot just came out with earnings today, positive earnings. Twitter, these are all picks that I've talked about for over a year that have, in some cases, some of them have doubled. They have produced incredible results. Google as well. I have all of these picks on my website, www.richtvlive.com. I've given all these picks for free last year. They've all done incredibly well. I believe they will continue to. So, as an investor, I'm always developing my investing style. I have a lot of risk in my portfolio. I am going to make 2019. 2018 was less risk than 2017. 2019 will be even less risk than 2018. I'm developing my portfolio to become more and more risk adverse, more secure, and now I'm trying to develop a portfolio for 2019 because I've got a few investments that I'm going to be liquidating, heavy investments, and I'm going to be making some big investments in 2019. I will be selling a couple properties here in Vancouver, which have done very well for me. So real estate has always been my number one. Stocks are always my number two, and cryptos are my number three. So right now, I'm literally going to be selling some real estate here in Vancouver in 2019, and I'm going to be using those assets to invest in stocks, some specific stocks. So I'm really going to be paying attention over the next 8 months, 9 months, getting ready for the summer of 2019, where I'm going to be investing heavily in all the top assets. So I'm taking it very seriously, and what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to position myself in only the best, because I've come to realize, why would I put my money in something that is not the best? Would Warren Buffett do that?
No way.
Warren Buffett invests in Goldman Sachs. He invests in Apple. He invests in Coca-Cola. He invests in only the best. So I started to think to myself, why would I invest in a company that's got no money in the bank, or maybe has money in the bank, but it's generating no revenue?
Right.
What am I doing? Yeah, maybe long-term it might be a winner, but short-term, I'm killing myself. So what I've started to realize is I need to have a portfolio which is more 90% Aurora Cannabis, Canopy Growth, Afria, CanTrust, Village Farms, Saniva. Those are the best cannabis stocks. CVSI, those are the big boys. I want to buy more of those, just long term, and I want to hold, and I have these in my long-term portfolio, Facebook, Netflix, Google, Amazon, Apple, so I could take advantage of those growing companies, because they're cash cows. They're spitting money. They're just spitting money. They're not going to stop making money. So let me just keep buying those too. So if you have a nice portfolio, safe portfolio of consistent winners, you're going to do well consistently. You're going to protect your money, and then take 10% of your portfolio and then throw it at the cryptocurrencies. Throw it at, the SCNAs, which is a 6-cent cannabis stock, which could go to $1 one day. Throw 10% of your portfolio at those high-risk positions. But moving forward, I'm trying to build a portfolio and develop a trading strategy that's going to be more about stability long-term, so that the people that are watching are always going to be making money, they're always going to be protected, and there will be a small portion of their portfolio that will be about risk. Whereas in 2017, my entire portfolio was risky.
Right.
In 2018, I would say it's more 50-50.
Okay.
But going into 2019, it's going to be more 90-10. I'm going to be buying more of the blue chips as a 90% hold in my portfolio, and 10% of my portfolio will go into cryptocurrencies and long-term cannabis stocks.
Sure.
Now, if you want to see those picks, you can go to www.richtvlive.com. I have it right on my homepage. If you go to my stock page, you can see it's right on my stock page. I've got about 50 of the top stocks that I'm watching every single day all over North America. Those are the Facebooks, the Amazons, the Googles, the Home Depots, the Goldman Sachs, the TD Banks, the CIBCs, and all my top cannabis stocks. All in one place for you guys to see, all in one place.
There you go. richtvlive.com. Check it out. Also, subscribe if you haven't done that already to Rich TV Live's YouTube channel. Go to his Facebook group. I want to see some more people in that Facebook group. We need to make that explode, just like your website has, just like your YouTube channel has. My channel, I'm David Moadel, looking at the markets with David Moadel. You're welcome to check me out as well. Man, it looks beautiful over there in Canada. I envy you. You're in an awesome place geographically and financially. Rich, this is amazing. We need to get back to doing this on a regular basis.
Yes, we should. We should.
Thank
But
you
you know,
so
it's
much.
good. It's good when we don't do it for a while because then we have a lot to talk about. And
That's
guys,
true.
please go and follow David Moadel. He is a scholar. He is a teacher. And he's a very good teacher. He actually was a teacher.
Yep.
What grade did you teach?
I taught over here in America 5th grade, which is 10 and 11 years old, and then I taught high school English and then college level English comp. Don't worry, I'm not going to grade any of you on your spelling or grammar or anything like that. But yeah, now I'm into teaching people about finances and coaching and all that good stuff. So yeah, thank you, Rich, for that endorsement. That's coming from a great place there. So great, Rich. You have something I don't, which is theme music. I need to get some for myself. Do you have any theme music to take us out?
Yeah, before we leave, I just want to say, guys, always do your due diligence. Always do your research before you invest in anything that you hear about here on Rich TV Live. Both David Moadel and myself are not licensed advisors, okay? So remember, we are simply for education and entertainment purposes. Always do your due diligence. Always do your research before you invest in anything. And make sure you invest in something that you love, not just because you heard it here on Rich TV Live. Okay?
That's right.
And let's look for some good music to leave with.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it. We're going to do this again soon. Keep checking back on Rich TV Live and looking at the markets with David Moadel. We're going to keep you updated in 2018, 2019, and beyond. Let's see what Rich has got for us. Little take us out music.
Yes, sir. Dave, always a pleasure, man. Keep up the great work. Loving you, having you on the show. And if you're not winning, you're not watching. This is David Moadel with your boy Rich. We're out. Peace.